When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. I am your host, Colleen Biggs, and today we're going to be talking all about how you can become an environmental steward. You probably want to know, what does that mean? Well, Lou Elliott Cyzeski is here today to teach us all about how we can do that at every level. Even you can teach your kids what they can do to how to become an environmental steward. But before we get to her, I would like to thank our sponsor for today's show, The Adventures of Julie Jones. Are you overwhelmed and overworked with a never-ending to-do list? Do you constantly feel tired because life seems hard and your needs are nowhere near the top of your priority list? Well, as an adventure and breakthrough coach, Julie Jones will support you in life that is easy, effortless, and most of all, fun. Stop spending time on the have-tos in life and start truly living the life of I get to. What are you waiting for? Take action and go to juliejones.biz and book a free 30-minute Live Out Loud call with Julie Jones today. Thank you so much, Julie, for being the sponsor of today's show. All right. Well, let's get back to Lou and talk about how, as a community, we can be an environmental steward. Now, Lou Elliott Cyzeski is the co-founder and CEO of the first and only climate neutral, plastic neutral brand merchandise company in the world called Cool Perks. I guess I should have asked. It's Cool Perks, right, Lou?
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure I said that right. She's an entrepreneur, an environmental steward, a fourth generation service member, and a second generation Japanese American. Lou launched Cool Perks in 2018 with the goal of transforming the merchandising industry from a toxic environmental polluter to a conscious connector of people and values. Welcome to the show, Lou.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, I have to know the answer behind this because it's just a burning question that I have. What happened in 2018 that you were like, you know what, I'm tired of this. I just have to start this global movement and then start this company, Cool Perks. Where did that all come from?
Fidget spinners.
Okay, let's talk about it. Yeah, fidget spinners.
Yeah. So my husband had been in the promotional products industry for about 15 years at that time, had his own company and was starting to get requests from the large tech companies in the Seattle area for gifts for their employees. And all of them were asking for fidget spinners. And I just remember thinking, they must not know how it feels to receive a gift like this. That's something that is just trendy, seems like it's checking a box. It's very complacent. It's a Band-Aid on a larger problem, a cultural problem in their company. And they're just giving out stuff that's going to feel like a burden when you receive it because you don't know what to do with it. If you don't want it, you maybe give it to your kid, give it to Goodwill. Do you throw it away? You can't recycle it. It just kind of feels not good. And I thought, I love educating. I love helping people connect better with each other. And this seems to be a big opportunity in business. So that's how I started.
I'm telling you, I don't know how many times I've received a swag box of stuff from companies that I don't even know what to do with everything that's in the package. In fact, I have a closet full here in my office and drawers full of things that I've been given over time. You know, if you go to one of those big, especially if you go to one of those big conferences, there's just swag galore. And most of it you don't even ever use. You know, some of the things you use on a regular basis, but for the most part, we don't use a lot of the stuff that they hand out. So, okay, so that kind of started it for you. So then did you want Cool Perks to really become this company where employees could get meaningful gifts and then them also be environmentally sound. So what was the whole talk to us through that? Because cool perks, now I kind of get it. I get the name.
Yeah. Well, so when I first wanted to start, I would talk about how receiving a gift really makes people feel appreciated and creates a sense of belonging, and would show people something, an example of a good gift. And they constantly responded to me, well, that's a cool perk. So I wanted to really encapsulate that and bring the idea of swag and brand merchandise, these promotional products, back to being a perk of a relationship.
Yeah.
Sustainability started almost as an incidental thing when it came to the business, because it really started out as reducing harm in the relationship, reducing harm to the planet, reducing harm to your budget, reducing harm to your business. Because if you can't stand behind what you're giving out, and nobody really thinks about it again in a positive light, at least, then you're just creating harm in your relationships. And of course, you're going to have higher turnover, and you're going to have to try harder to bring on new clients, and it doesn't spread any good. And I just wanted my business to be both an example and a path for companies to take to create good. I just imagine that feeling of being wholly appreciated for the value I bring to a company. And then I go home and I treat my family that way, and they go into the community and treat the community that way. And that's how we change things. We don't change things by micromanaging people or being complacent, sticking Band-Aids on things. We holistically look at what we're doing and become more intentional.
Yeah.
I think of gift giving itself as self-expression. It is gift giving is a way of bringing light to what's happening right now in your life, what's happening right now in your relationship, how you feel about another person. And that's only on the gift giver's side of things, right? I mean, we can think about times where we have given a gift that really is the perfect gift, that lands, that somebody gets and really knows that they're known and seen and loved and appreciated. And then I'm sure we can all remember times where we stopped off at, some store to pick up something for a kid's birthday party just to wrap up or throw in a gift bag on the way there. And these are two different feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the gift receiver side of things, they're also two different feelings. Like one of them, you do feel appreciated. It builds up that relationship. And then the other one ends up in the trash. And maybe you get invited to the birthday party next year, and maybe you don't.
Right. I'm glad that you're talking about this right now, because this is the season of giving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this podcast is going to be released during the season of giving. And there's something in my family that we do that is very, it's a tradition that I started a long, long time ago. And I started getting my children ornaments based on something that was special that happened in their life that year. And that was when there were ornaments that were starting to be made where you could do it for a sport, or if my child played the violin, I would get her a little violin with her name and the year on it. So this kind of, as the years have gone by, they've gotten better and better. But this was when I'd have to go find a little silver violin somewhere, a little ornament. Now you can find them, you can get them everywhere in porcelain and, ceramic or whatever. And so in my family, for all of my children, my husband, including my grandchildren, I have 12 of them, and my listeners all know that, and my community all know that. It gets very expensive now, by the way. I order an ornament for every child and something special in their life. So maybe they learned how to ride a bike without training wheels. Maybe they were potty trained that year, right? Maybe they went to their first daycare. Maybe they had their first karate lesson. Or one of my grandchildren this year will be getting an ornament because he rode the Incredicoaster at Disneyland because he was finally tall enough with his dad. That's a huge memory that he's going to have. So when I give him that little ornament that's a coaster, right? Him and his dad on a coaster with their names on it and the year, that's going to mean something to him. And every year when he pulls it out and put it on the tree, he gets to walk down memory lane and say, oh, Dad, remember when I got to ride that? So for me, that's a special memory that I give to my children and my grandchildren, for them, that goes for me beyond years after years. And hopefully when I'm dead, it'll still be something that they go back and they remember, and they give all those ornaments to their kids when they move out and they get married, like I did with my kids, and they can start their tree that way, because that's a special thing for me, right? And instead of just buying them a toy or a gift or something that's going to break, right, that I can buy them, I do this special ornament. And I love the one with photos on it, and it's a memory of an impression in time that they can look back on. And for my husband and I, when we put our tree together this year, we literally, every ornament that we pulled out was like a walk down memory lane. And we sat there talking about all of our adventures and where we had gone. And do you remember this? And laughing about things that happened. So it's, some of them we forgot. We were like, we don't even remember going there, but that was a long time ago. These are the things I think you're talking about. When I left my corporate job, and everyone has heard me say this, and I'm not, punching the company in the gut. But when I left, for years, I've been there for 18 years. And for years, I had watched, employees that would retire or leave, and they'd get these huge golf bags and golf clubs and Tiffany watches and all this amazing stuff. And I got a $350 gift card to a spa that I still haven't used.
Yeah.
I left like 5 years ago.
Gift cards are one of those interesting items that people think, oh, well, we're going to be sustainable, so we'll give money or gift card. And it's really not any better than giving junk, because people end up with these $25 gift cards, or even a $5 Starbucks card. Drawers and drawers and drawers full of them. Yeah, I have gotten so many clients calling me and saying, "Hey, we tried this gift card thing for a couple of years, and nobody likes it. Yeah. Nobody wants to use them." So they end up giving them away themselves, and this money just keeps getting passed on like it's a savings account.
I know. So maybe we should talk about what are some good ideas for gift giving, or how can we become this environmental steward during the holidays? How can we become this environmental steward during the anniversaries for our clients, the birthdays for our clients? I do something special for my clients where I'll get them this gratitude mug, but then again, I also personalize things based on what they said. One of my clients once said, "Oh, my daughter called me a girl boss, and that really made me feel so warm inside, because she really gets what I do now in growing my business and how it's a big deal in our family." So I sent her a little sign that said girl boss, because that's for her. That's not for me. That's something she really appreciated, and when she got it, her daughter thought it was the best thing ever, and they hung it up in her office. And so I think it's important that we remember that the things that we might like, someone else might not like, right? That might not be their jam. So what is the best way that you've found in working with, I know you work with big companies like Google and Microsoft and Amazon. How do you work with them on gift giving and figuring out the best type of procedure on what you give to your employees, what you give to your clients, what we give to others?
Yeah. So it's really not much different with small businesses, large businesses, or personal gift giving. I try and work with small businesses, diverse businesses, try and create more equity with the way I spend money. My company had to really go in and define what sustainability was, because it's one of those terms that gets thrown around a lot. There's not a whole lot of governance around what sustainability is. Even the way we recycle things from our home.
Yeah.
really, I mean, do you know whether or not it gets recycled? I think less than 9% of plastics get recycled right now. So there is not a lot of guidance from society right now on what is sustainable and what are some good things that we can be doing with our lives and in our lifestyles. So we defined it and kind of brought it down to 3 little bullet points in our own company. And that was low harm, meaning we're trying to find ways to reduce the environmental impact on whether it comes from manufacturing or even the disposal of the product, but also with labor costs, because if you're buying something that came out of a factory, we can't guarantee labor conditions and that type of stuff. So we're always looking to reduce harm. The next one is high ethics. We want the company to be actually making products that we want to receive and we want to use. And they're thinking about the design of the product. They're evolving it for modern lifestyle. I think about Mir, a company in Seattle that does tumblers. I mean, it's something simple, right? Like your to-go coffee mugs. But the way they have designed these products, they last for years. You can put them in the dishwasher. Mm-hmm. They're just so functional. They fit in your car cup holders, which, is something surprising when cups don't fit mm-hmm. in a standard cup holder. And I really think about that as high ethics, really understanding the user's experience and creating a good experience there, in addition to the way they handle their business. And the last one was keepable. Is this product, is this service something that we would keep for years and maybe even pass down, or make it more circular to where we can not just pass it down, but if we don't want it, give it to somebody in our community, resell it. Or do they take it back and refurbish it and then resell it? I mean, these are things that we really look for. And so when it comes to companies buying for their business, we put these standards on their gift giving. We really, one of my favorite things right now to do is pop-up stores, because it's a virtual online shop where if you have a company anywhere between 500 and 10,000 people, they can be logging in and choosing their own gift. Mm-hmm. Right away, it reduces waste, because some people who don't want a gift they immediately solve that problem. They won't even get or log in or have a gift delivered. But then secondly, you have a large company with all these different demographics and different needs, different lifestyles. Someone who's married with 3 children will not get the same, choose the same product, or may not choose the same product as someone who is fresh out of college and single and living in an apartment. I think about things like camp chairs and how not functional that is when it comes to different lifestyles. If you live in an apartment in Manhattan, what are you going to do with this thing, right? And so pop-up stores give us a way to reduce waste, make less harm within the budgets that we already have, right? So if we have a budget for $200 a person, that's a typical budget for my clients. They're able to really find ways to make that budget go farther, and even end up sometimes with a surplus. And then what we do is offer them a way to donate money to a good cause. And we vet a couple causes and offer those as well. But then the other thing pop-ups have allowed us to do recently is work with small businesses owned by the people who are underrepresented, whether it's a person with a minority background, Black-owned, woman-owned, a person of color, woman of color, LGBTQ-owned businesses. And those businesses really a lot of times can't scale to the point where they can offer 10,000 products, right? Like that will put them in such a bad spot because one, they need that order, they need higher orders.
Yeah.
But they can't really scale to that. And it's really unsustainable for their business. So having a pop-up store where we get to offer several different products from several different small businesses helps us create equity in that way as well, and helps these businesses grow in a more sustainable way.
Yeah.
So we really get to double down on our ethics, our values when it comes to corporate gift giving. But it's really no different from the way you buy at home. If you are looking to give your friends or family gifts like that, I mean, operating under the same standards and looking for these small businesses and looking for ways to give someone, like you said, something that they will like.
Yeah.
Then you're reducing your waste. I mean, I know that I do not want even, a $20 gift getting thrown away. That doesn't feel good for me. I can't imagine it feels good for anyone.
I will tell you that I've received a lot of brownies in my time. People send me a lot of brownies. I don't eat brownies. So every time I get brownies, my husband loves it because I'll put them out on the counter and be like, here you go, honey. There's more brownies for you. He's like, ooh, where are these from? Or they'll send me chocolate chip cookies, or I don't eat any of that. So they send them to me and I don't eat them. So my husband gets them. So of course, when I get it, I realize like, I know what the gift was about and why they sent it. And that was really appreciative, but I don't eat it. So it's, but I love when I get cards like this one, right, that has my photo on it with another person because I was on her podcast. And then when people send me cards that have my photo on it with their photo or something like that means a lot to me, something I can keep. But I'm glad that you said that because I've gotten a lot of brownies. So, and you know what? I just the company Meetup just sent out something the other day and said, we have gratitude for our customers and we'd like to share a thank you. Here's a free $35 for you to spend in this store. So it was a pop-up store, and then you could click on it, claim the credit, and then go shopping at that store with the $35 credit that they gave all of their customers. So I think that's kind of what you were talking about. And that was their way of sending us a thank you for us to go shopping for our own gift and what we wanted. And I remember my company did that once that I used to work for. And I remember getting a backpack, like a camping backpack. Not a lot of people would like that, but in my house, we only had one and I needed a second one. So it worked out perfect for me. And I got exactly what I wanted, which was a backpacking backpack, and we still use it to today. But I can't remember any of the other gifts I've gotten. So I don't think I've used those.
Yeah. I think another thing that I really have loved over the last few years is working with companies who will make handmade items, whether it's pottery. We give a lot of glassy baby votives. I don't know if you know about this. It's a Seattle thing, but they have a branch or a location in LA. The company makes hand-blown glass votives. They're pretty expensive, but they're hand-blown. There's so much care given to the company or given to the product, and they also give back. And so regardless if you're ordering, something for your friend or you're ordering for a large company, these are unique items because each one is handmade. So they are a little bit different. And then when they come with a story of this company was created by a woman who was I believe she had cancer and was in treatment and learning about people's experiences with cancer and the costs associated with treatment, she decided to use art to bring in revenue to help these people. And when you give a gift that tells a story like that and looks amazing, it feels so personal, even if you buy it in bulk.
Yeah, that's right. You're so right on that. Absolutely. So I know, Lou, you've been talking a lot about, you gave us a bunch of ideas on what we can do as individual business owners, as gift giving this year to clients, ongoing, how we can show that we care about other people in a way that makes them feel special. What are the best ways for us to reach out to you, to get into your community, to follow you somewhere? What would be the best way so that we could learn more about what you're doing on your journey?
Yeah. So Cool Perks does have social media. It's Cool Perks on everything, whether Instagram or Twitter, COOLPRX. I do not have these. I do have LinkedIn though. It's LinkedIn, Lou Elliott Saseski, whatever that long URL code is.
Just find her on Lou Elliott Sazeski. Just find her on LinkedIn. We have it at your fingertips for you. It's in the descriptions. It's there. And you're at coolperks.com as well too, right?
I am, yes.
Okay. Is there a newsletter we can subscribe to or anything on your website?
Absolutely. We have 2 newsletters that go out. One is a 5-product Friday in Tim Ferriss fashion, where people get some really great ideas of new and really cool products. Might be helpful for people who are looking for personal gifts too, because you can always find these. We do sell pretty much only retail products. We don't go into like the deep inventory of some of these factories overseas, which is very typical of our industry, which is why it's toxic.
Right.
So we do sell retail products. So you can also, if you just want to use us for inspiration for your own gift giving, you can sign up for that. And then there is a monthly newsletter as well.
Wonderful. Well, Lou, thank you so much for being on our podcast today and being on the show. I know that our listeners got so much out of this, and it was just fun to have the conversation to really understand what being an environmental steward means when it comes to gift giving, right? Things that they're not going to throw away, things that are not just going to build up in waste, and not giving gifts that aren't environmentally sound when they're made either, right? So a lot of these items are producing chemicals into the air or wastewater or waste products or whatever it is. So if you really want to be a steward, you have to do your homework to understand what you're buying and that people are actually using what you're buying and that it means something to them. I always tell people it's not about you when you give a gift. It's about the person that receives the gift. Make sure you're giving a great gift. So this was perfect timing, Lou. Thank you so much for being here today. And remember, ladies and gentlemen that listen to the show, you're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that is ever going to be. So you can choose. You can choose to keep giving crappy gifts to people for the rest of your life, and they're never going to really appreciate it, and they're not going to think you're thoughtful, and they're just going to throw them away. And then all of the, dumps are just going to fill up with crap, and that's what's going to happen. Or you can start becoming this environmental steward and really focus on the things that are important for your clients and for your customers, and think about that person. I have told that story over and over again about me leaving corporate America. I bet they don't see it that way, but after working there that many years, and after what I saw come and go, and then when I left with what I left with, I was like, you got to be kidding me. It kind of ruined all those years for me of thinking like, wow, I wasn't really as appreciated as I thought I was, And so that kind of ruined a lot of years for me. So really think about it. And don't just be an overgiver to give gifts to give gifts. Be thoughtful with your gifts. This is your tip going into the holiday season, y'all. So Lou, thanks for being here with us today. And everyone, remember, until next time, be you and be strong, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-discovery, where you learned the tools to create a life by design. Remember, you are the only you there is, and you are the only you that will ever be. Be you and be strong, because you are brilliant, and the world needs you at your best. We cannot wait for you to join us again next time.